Hi, hello. How are you guys doing? My name is Maxine Samone. I'm here to share a touch of Venus with you. And we're going to get into collective message. There's been so much coming through. There's definitely activations happening for those that are tuning in, tapping in, turning on all the things to their spiritual gifts. I don't know exactly what direction this reading is going to go in, but I did do a pretty intense reading yesterday about the natural disasters, and I keep getting more downloads regarding grid working. I don't know if that's the direction we want to go in, because I feel like I would... No, I'm not even going to say that. I was going to block my own channel. You know what I'm saying? Block my own channel to the divine. Don't let your ego get in the way of sharing the messages, especially if you're called to use your voice. Okay, let's just go with that. And let's just see what comes out. Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, higher beings of light and unconditional love, divine mother, divine father. Thank you for the likes. What are the best and highest messages for this collective? Best and highest messages for the collective. It's like sloppy shuffle. Sloppy shuffle. Let me see. Okay. What we got. Sacred ecosystem. So we are talking about the planet still. Ascended Master Kuthimi and Moss Agate. That's a really pretty... I felt really called to wear a lot of blue. I'm wearing a little blue sweatsuit right now. If I turn this, I lit a blue and green candle. I don't know, I just feel really called to those colors right now. I was literally thinking about... I only had the green candle up here and I pulled out a blue one. I just felt and look at the card. Look at the card. I love that. Sacred ecosystem. We're going to get into that. And then nourishment. The root chakra. Let's see. Numbers is 26. Angel numbers 333. What number am I on? Okay, 28. Whew. Every time I get hot doing damn reading. We bring you the blessing of sacred ecosystem. This is a gift of conscious connection and supportive relationship and magnetism, which attracts you to the souls in need of your light. Before I even continue, the downloads I was getting regarding the natural disasters and people turning on their gifts. You may be feeling called to energy healing, specifically like Reiki. You may be called to, I don't know, whatever element that you feel most called to, nature wise, like water, earth, whatever, air. I feel like the Avatar, earth, air, water, da da da. But it's like, seriously, whatever you feel called to use, your modality that you feel the most comfortable with, that you are being called to right now. The earth is really needing our support in this transition. Humanity is really needing light working support in this transition, and faith and hope and beautiful love intentions and all the fucking positive things. My words are getting mixed up, but you know what I'm saying. It's like you have to pour into the possibility of a new earth, a new life, a new way of being. We're in the middle space in the transition. We are a generation, if I'm speaking to millennials specifically, that's what popped into my mind, is this Pluto and Scorpio generation of having more experience than most in existing in the void spaces. And if you know anything about being in the void, it's that your faith and your belief that something better is possible is imperative, or else you're bound to repeat the same cycle. The thing, though, the caveat on this is that there is no repeating the same cycle. We are, in fact, transitioning into a new earth. There is no going back once you start the birthing process. You're already pushing through. You have to keep pushing, you know? And so there is this divine alchemy that is happening where we have to take a look at the past and we have to alchemize that negativity to create a better future. And this is very deep energy work. This is very spiritual work, you know. It takes unmatched faith, you know what I'm saying? You can't have any doubt, any fear. And that doesn't mean that that's not going to exist. It just means that when that comes up, you do not run from it. You alchemize it into love, into light, all those things, you know. That does not mean that we run away, because then that is how we end up staying in the shadows, right? A divine feminine goddess, archetype, deity, whatever words you want to use, came to me last night, Persephone specifically. And we've dealt with Persephone before. We talked about her before in the context of, you know, her being the queen of the underworld because of her whole story, the mythology of Hades. That is one aspect of Persephone. There's more to be uncovered there if you decide to work with her. She presents herself to you in support of this transition. And the big thing that stood out to me when doing a little bit more research on her is that I think that people have this understanding or assumption because she's the queen of the underworld, she's the dark goddess, you know, that she is giving like seductive dark feminine. And that can be an aspect of Persephone, but that is not how she's showing up for us right now. She's showing up as a ball of light in a dark space. Shoulders back, head up, powerful, willing to look at the darkness, willing to alchemize the darkness, you know? And she helps with facing fears, you know, because there are two aspects to Persephone. There's the spring goddess, you know, in her maiden form, and then there's her being the queen of the underworld. And there are a very wide range of feminine qualities and traits, not just in Persephone, but all these other archetypes that they can teach us if we invite that into our life, you know, to study these emanations, to study these characteristics in order to embody them, because through storytelling, through emotion, through empathy, and actually being able to picture yourself in the shoes or to relate to a story, to personify a characteristic, you can embody it. This is how deity works. Okay. I went on a little tangent, but basically we are in this middle space, the void space, and these dark goddesses that are coming to support us in that middle space are helping us to understand the power that can be found in the middle space and how to use it and not run away from it anymore, because light workers are those that shine in the dark. They're not those that run from the dark. Okay. I love that. Okay. Back to the book. This is a gift of conscious connection, supportive relationship, and magnetism, which attracts you to the souls in need of your light. Where you once may have felt as though you were not in the right place, this blessing shall now rectify that. You are meant to belong and contribute freely to your soul community, to your true soul community. You are destined to feel as though you have found your way home and can attract and be attracted to those that can support you and benefit from your support too. As you let go of your past rejection of the belief that you have to accomplish your divine life mission on your own or fight to have your place in the world, you will allow the power of the sacred ecosystem to transform your life. Your life purpose shall flourish, and your experience of conscious connection with the world around you will heal your heart and soothe your soul. So there's other parts of this card. I'm going to skim real quick to see. Ooh, I did like this little mythology, and then we're going to get into some downloads. It tells this story. It says, there's a story of a cracked pot which was used to carry water from the fountain to the master's table. Because of the crack, it leaked water along the pathway, arriving at the master's house only partially full, whilst another pot without a crack was able to hold its full complement of water for the household. The cracked pot wondered if it was not a good enough pot. One day, the water carrier felt compassion for the cracked pot and asked why it was sad. When the water carrier realized that the pot felt that its flaws were bad, especially compared to the undamaged, perfect pot, he asked the cracked pot to look down at the path where it leaked water each day. "What do you see?" asked the water carrier of the cracked pot. "I see flowers," replied the cracked pot. "Yes, that is right," the water carrier said. "Those flowers have sprouted along the path because you have been watering them. Each day they become an offering of beauty and grace upon the master's table." The cracked pot finally felt happy to hear this and then realized that what it thought was imperfection was actually just a beautiful way to serve. So this story teaches us something of the sacred ecosystem. In the sacred ecosystem, everything that is, even the things that we might initially write off as unwanted or shameful, serves the greater good. So this is where we have an opportunity to alchemize our past transgressions, our past lessons that we've had to learn in order to become who we are today, the things that we don't necessarily like to talk about. Those are actually our blueprints and how we're able to help the collective, because especially if you are a light worker or if you're on this wave right now of feeling called to share your gifts, you are technically ahead of the curve, and you are helping to usher other people in to this new earth. I just got hella chills, and now we get hot and cold every time I do a reading. But not cold, but like I get chills, but it feels like this is heart-led service, specifically green, blue, activating your voice from a heart-led space. And by you sharing your experiences and being a guiding light, you're able to usher people into or this is what you came down here for. You really are coming down on a mission. And so it's like, I feel like there's people that are feeling this call to really step into their service. And I also feel like it's important to know that you as a light worker are going to be supported not only by the divine, but by those around you as you're actually recognized for who you are. Maybe people won't have the language to call you a light worker or to recognize you in that way, but they recognize your good heart. They recognize your intention. They recognize your service in the way that they weren't able to before. It feels like the collective consciousness is rising and other people they need assistance with integrating this information and accessing their own intuition, their own gifts. And that's not something that you can necessarily tell somebody how to do, but you can explain your story and help to activate something within them. You can also tell them what you went through and how you got through it. And that doesn't mean that it's going to give them a step-by-step, but it is going to be a guiding light for them, And so, yeah, you're being tasked with that. And it's going to require releasing shame around your experiences so that you can share them from an empowered place. And it's also going to require you opening your heart up again, with the risk of rejection, because that does exist, but knowing that you are divinely supported. This also feels like a different type of abundance being unlocked, like a new earth type of abundance being unlocked. I've seen more and more people transition, and I've gotten this download myself for my business, which is why my workshops are pay what you want, pay what you can, because I want people to have access to information and not be unable to get anything that they feel like they need, because that is how I'm going to alchemize my experiences, my pain, and turn them into lessons for people to share or to learn and to share if they want to share. You know what I'm saying? But I feel this call to make things more accessible, to give more than you're expected to receive, but that doesn't even feel right. There is a balance there. It's more leaning into community and knowing that you'll be supported by your community, rather than it feels like there's a I just picture like a wall, a gate between you and another person based off of a monetary amount. And I'm seeing this not only just with my own business, but I've seen 2 other women just recently. I've seen other people have this pay what you want structure in their business, but I've seen 2 other women that one offers readings and she does them completely free all the time. You know, she hops on here, she'll do readings when she has the energy to, but then she also is not afraid to ask for help. Like she says that I do my work for free. However, I'm leaning into trusting that my community will support me when I ask for it. And I've seen her make a video and be like, and right now I need to pay my rent, so I need help doing that. And there's a link to donate if you have the means to donate, and those that feel called to will help her, and she has made it like that, you know. I've also seen another woman that's a therapist, and she was addressing the fact that she has like real big girl bills. She's helping take care of her mom and her family and everything, but she kept seeing that when she was offering therapy, even on a sliding scale, that people, when they need the most help, they don't have those physical means a lot of the time. And she was tired of seeing that her client base could barely afford to come get the help that they needed. So she started offering her services for free, and then she was able to support herself. And it's not like this crazy amount. This is the paradigm that we're moving away from, is gluttony and greed. You will have what you need to live, and that is abundance. Having your time, having your health, you know, living in a certain amount of what you define to be luxurious or successful is up to you, but it should not be based off of societal expectations or a number in your bank account. You know, it's about having what you need, and also having a little bit more than that. Like, you're okay. We're expanding our understanding of abundance, you know, and I believe that the way that the earth will be moving, or society or whatever, it's going to be moving toward, I believe that the way that the earth will be moving, or society or whatever, it's going to be moving towards a community-based living, where you might need to rely on your friends, your family. You might find people moving back home. You might, you know, people moving towards more community, like commune type things, or like, also what just came through is that I've been seeing other videos as well of next year, or this upcoming couple of years, there's going to be a revolution of land being available, because the farmers are aging in America, and they don't want to just give up their farms to these banks, these big corporations. So there's going to be a revolution of younger people having access to land. And if you've been one of those, and I just got chills, I feel like there's been a lot of people, because they're so upset about how the world has been, and the fact that we can't even afford to buy property and all these things, that the land is going to be available to purchase and build upon, whether that means building fresh foods, you know, living in a community-based style, having multiple people living together. You know, like, there are grants, there are loans that will actually provide more assistance for you than just a regular home loan, to actually get land and build upon the land and actually sustain yourself. So if that is something that you felt like was out of reach for you because of the state of the economy, there are going to be more, I predict, more and more people coming together to live a more community-based lifestyle, because we can't, what we're doing isn't sustainable. So we're going to have to come together, especially in this transition space. And I think that when people start to come together, one, it's going to require that people work on their heart space and be open to trusting people again. But also it's going to be very healing to see that living so hyper independently actually cures a lot of, by not living so hyper independently, it cures a lot of our social and mental issues, because we are communal creatures. You know what I'm saying? And also, I believe that the lead of this is going to be the women, We're going to be moving towards a more matriarchal, community-based living in the future. Yes, that feels... The Maiden. We were just talking about Persephone. What about the Maiden in the temple? I feel like she's inviting this collective, if this is resonating with you, to meet her in the temple, aka get into a nice deep meditation. Invite your guides in to sit with yourself. And I really can't tell you what's going to come out. I mean, I will continue the reading, obviously, but it's like there's some information that needs to be connected with. She's showing up as softer with the Maiden. She's showing up as her spring version, like the spring maiden version of herself, which is very loving, very open. But she's like, don't get it confused though. Because when they have apocalypsis and gnosis and warrior, she's like, she can shapeshift into both. And it's about knowing when to tap into what. When to be in your nurturing and when to stand for something, you know? I feel like there's more there. I'm just not picking up on it. Let me see. You have the Ace of Cups popping out. I feel like it's kind of cryptic on purpose because she's inviting you to connect with yourself, your body, to see what messages need to come out specifically. Let's see if we can get a few more details. So we have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Strength. Yeah. She wants you to nurture a specific aspect of yourself. And this is going to take... something just came through about like when you plant a seed, it has to be, it's not the word of germinating, it's the pressure that is put on the seed in order to get the seed to burst open. And that is what that is feeling like, is like the transition that we're going through right now. That does not mean like when that seed receives that amount of pressure, that is not a bad thing. It requires that amount of pressure from the earth and the ground around it to eventually burst that seed open, and then those roots need to be grounded. So if we're talking about this transition that we're in, like the seeds have been planted for this new earth, for this new vision. There are plenty of people that I'm sure that when they see this or hear this and they hear that this farmland is going to be doing numbers, you know what I'm saying, that it's going to be accessible, that there are going to be people to partner with that share a similar vision, that is going to spark a lot of people's attention. But I feel like, so there's been seeds planted, desires of the world being so fucked up has grown our desire for something better. And just even as sitting around talking about it, like, oh, I would just rather live out, like, I'd rather live off the land. You know what I'm saying? Like, even, and like you and your girlfriends being like, yeah, like, it would be so much easier than going in and clocking in and wasting my life away. You know what I'm saying? It's like those frequencies are seeds that have been being planted. And those desires are being put on people's hearts. And now these experiences, these circumstances are happening, they're unfolding, because this is the natural way of, I feel like we're going through this cleansing period. There's so many things that are happening. They're like between a cleansing period, but also just note that the seeds have been planted. And so the pressure that is being put on the world right now is almost like putting the pressure on a seed for the roots to take place. Does that make sense? For the roots to pop out the seed. Four of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. She's really emphasizing that he said, my friends and I are there. It's hard going to work every day. It's super fucking ghetto. I was just saying yesterday when I was getting like all these like what feels like prophetic downloads, and I'm like, but I have to fill out this spreadsheet before this time or else I can't get off the computer. Like, what are we talking about right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we actually talking about right now? I'm getting messages from the divine to share with the collective. And I have to make sure I have the spreadsheet in before 1 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not making sense. It's not adding up, you know? But she's really stating that there's acknowledgement of we're in between two worlds. You know, we're literally balancing on what feels like an egg, you know, like a fertility, you know, the possibilities. Again, the void space, really just kind of like emphasizing this void space. And they're really asking the collective to put on these rose-colored glasses to imagine a new life, a new world, in order to make sure that this void space is... The word that just keeps coming to me is germinated correctly, and I don't even know if that's the correct word because I'm not a farmer, but it does feel like there's also such a big emphasis on connecting with the planet right now. Even if you don't feel called to do grid work or whatever I'm talking about, it feels like the earth is really calling out to us to connect with it, because if we establish that connection with the land will let us know what it needs, you know? So go hug a tree today, okay? Tell a tree your name. You know what's great about a tree? You can tell it you're social and you're not going to get robbed. You know what I'm saying? They're like, no, literally go do that right now. Ace of Wands. And I like that his wand is a tree branch in his hand. That's so cute. But it feels like the earth is speaking to us right now, and it can be as simple as going and sitting in the grass, you know, and meditating there rather than doing it inside. You know, it feels like we really are needing to establish that connection again, because what we're seeing is, or what we have seen, what we've witnessed, and what we've allowed to happen prior generations, you know, our ancestors that took a left turn, a real hard left, and chose capitalism and consumerism, colonization. They did not respect the land. They didn't connect with the land. They stole the land. They raped the land. You know what I'm saying? They did all of these things, and there was a disconnection, a lack of empathy with the land, you know? And so to rebuild this and to know what the land needs, as well as for the land to provide us with what we need to be a part of this ecosystem, I'm just getting chills all over. There needs to be an established relationship, and that can start now. Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands reminds me of Persephone. She always gives me like shadow work queen. And then we have the 10 of Wands in reverse. And that landed on the vision card up there. This is how we're going to be able to tap into our power. And release this burden, quite literally, to get this monkey off of our back that's bothering all of us, you know. And she said to stand as lioness. This is also giving kind of like Sekhmet energy as well, especially considering all this purification that's been happening. 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, we have to go through this dark space, unfortunately, in order to be able to build anew. But while we are going through this dark space, there's opportunities to connect with the earth and to connect with the community around us. We have 4 of Pentacles in the reverse, and we have the High Priestess crossing that. So, like I said, if you are a light worker, like it's just really a big call to really step into, to not be so stingy with that, to come out of the closet with that. It's really important that we are doing that. It's like there's like this magic that is pouring out from this high priestess. I don't know if you can see like the little sparkles. They're like kind of all over the place coming from her. And you know what I found interesting? I learned about crows. It said 444. I love that. I learned about crows that they appear to be black by perception, but they actually are like rainbow wings. They have like a very bright rainbow aura. Isn't that symbolic? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, there are people that will not understand, but those people literally do not matter. They're actually, in the nicest way possible, not going to be able to make it into this higher level frequency world, and if they aren't willing to get on board, you know. Seven of Swords. That's the Seven of Swords. The Three of Pentacles. The illusion of separation, the illusion of lack of community, the illusion of lack of collaboration, you know. You know what? Even what I just said, that I feel like they're correcting me, because even those people that provide that contrast create stronger desire for what we actually want. They're still even collaborating in the bigger plan. So just don't even knock them. Don't even fucking worry about it. Just worry about what part you are contributing towards the collective consciousness and the direction that it's going. Because it's unfortunate that like these caged birds, they don't know how to live outside the cage, you know. But there are people that do. There are plenty of people that do, you know. And if they choose to stay in the cage, that's up to them. So I have Queen of Cups in reverse. Why is Queen of Cups in reverse? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Why is Queen of Pentacles in reverse? Why are these two queens in reverse? You have to see value in your personal. You have to believe that your imagination for the collective to move forward, you have to believe that your vision for the collective holds value, and that when you pray for the collective, I feel like there's a little bit of a shift that Spirit is asking us to take, is to consider the entire collective in our spiritual practice, our routine. I don't know how often this collective may include the collective in their personal practice or not. I think that we all can get sucked into the minutia of our own lives, you know. And I feel like Spirit is really asking us to think about everyone involved and can include everyone involved in our healing. You know, of course, putting ourselves first, and meaning that making sure that my cup is full in order to be able to support or to provide a healing service or whatever the case may be is imperative. But it's like being steadfast in how we start to incorporate this sacred ecosystem, meaning that you can start doing it right now through your prayers, through your spiritual practice. You could have a collective candle going. You can do collective prayers. You can do collective Reiki. You know what I'm saying? You can connect with the land. These are parts like to-dos that we can start to incorporate in our healing journey that not only pours into ourselves but the new world. I think that they're just really emphasizing that our imagination is really important right now. We have the Knight of Cups. Our prayer our imagination, our reverie being offered as prayer, our vision boards for the future, including the collective consciousness, including a healthier earth, one that considers environmentalism and homeless people and all of those things, you know what I'm saying? Like includes healthy foods to eat and all of those things, and healthy animals, that aren't hormone pumped, and all the things. Okay. But I feel like they're asking us to put down our masculine warrior aspects of self and to pick up basically the prayer warrior, the energetic warrior, the spiritual warrior aspect of ourselves, and to really shine in our light in that way. Because I do see the Nine of Wands in reverse, and it's kind of putting down this battle, or kind of creating a barrier between how we used to fight with things or fight back with things, and more so focusing on the star, which is healing. And you see that she has energy in her hands right here over her heart. It kind of looks like Reiki, giving Reiki vibes, We have Temperance in the middle of that in the reverse. So I feel like there's just like kind of like again, there's no reason to wait necessarily to start this. We have the Five of Cups, because there are people that are dealing with real grief, what I'm saying? We're in a very heavy time. So as someone that has an eagle-eye point of view, or a falcon's eye, you might be connected to Horus, the Eye of Horus, or be connected to that symbol. But because you have this ability to zoom out, and see the bigger picture, you can apply the healing energy that we need for the collective, for those that don't have this understanding just yet, or that may be going through massive changes that are difficult to go through. Anything else? So we have Seven of Wands. Stand for something or fall for anything, And then we have the Eight of Wands. So there is going to be forward movement. There is going to be... This card always makes me laugh because he looks so excited to go to the future. There is... Even though it's funny because I never noticed this is a turtle. I thought it was always a lizard or something. I never really looked that hard, I guess. But it is a turtle, which is funny to me because Eight of Wands is about fast forward movement. But this feels like it's been taking forever. And now all of a sudden, through this energetic healing and connection to the communities, to your community, to the earth and all these things, there's going to be forward movement in the way that we didn't feel like we might have seen in our lifetime. I feel like the changes that we're praying for, I feel like some of us feel like it's so far out, it's not attainable for us, that maybe if we can do the right things, quote unquote, we can set it up for the next generations or something like that. And while we do think about those things, and that's important to consider the future, I think that there are going to be major changes made in this particular lifetime, that we are going to see. And it's all based off of what we're able to give right now. And receive also, and receive as well. So we have the Ten of Swords in reverse. I don't know where the fuck that card... Oh, here we go. And then the Page of Swords. We get to rewrite the story right now. Hummingbirds could be significant. Bees could be significant. Bees are connected to Demeter, which was the mother of Persephone. Then we have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands. Four of Wands. The battle is writing a new story. it's difficult to imagine that we're going to be able to experience this in this lifetime. I know that it is, because that's what our ego is telling us, that is not for us, that's just out of reach, the things that we're doing, we don't know if it's working, because again, we are a new wave of energy healers that are like hitting the world, or that have been here but are rising, you know, coming out of dormancy. And so it feels very different. It's almost like, again, can you imagine it? Do you believe it? You know, but we've had so many individual experiences in our life that we know that these things are true. So now it's time for us to rise into our power and to actually act like we know what the fuck we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like we're coming out of training and we're going to real life. This is real spiritual warfare. This is like collective level-esque things, you know what I'm saying? Act like you know who you are, you know? But it feels like the battle is happening in our ability to imagine and to believe in our magic, and that our everything that we're doing does in fact make an impact. And then we end up arriving home, you know, Four of Wands. There's a graduation, there's a celebration, there is the possibility, not the possibility, but the arrival of a new home. I feel like that's, and then we have the Queen of Swords. I like how it's glowing off it's definitely because my camera is dirty, but I like how it's looking. Queen of Swords, she's a master with her words. You know, she's a master of her wisdom. She doesn't even have to see anything in this card. She's just sitting there with her sword, knowing that if she needs to use it, she can and she will. You know, she's very wise. And so through your experiences, how can you extract the wisdom? Can you think back on times in your life where you thought that you couldn't get through a transition and you did, and you came out better, you know? Because that is exactly the same frequency that the world is experiencing, and that we can help people to remember that there is better on the other side if we can just get through this transition, you know? So yeah, I'm feeling like this is the message today. I'm going to get some affirmations as usual. Affirmations to close out the reading. If you'd like a personal reading, everything can be found in the link in my bio or the description box below. When I lead from a place of love, people respect me. I love that. Okay, a few came out. My happiness is a direct reflection of how quickly I can shift my perception from fear to love. My happiness. So still focusing on, and it can be so difficult. Yesterday I was finding myself getting stuck in the rabbit hole of looking at all these hurricane videos and things. I was starting to feel all these feelings come up, but then I also know that I can transmute energy, so I worked on that. But I also felt like, damn, like I have to maintain a certain level of emotional stability, not just for myself, but for the collective, so that I can continue to pour into the collective, right? We have to still maintain a certain level of like pouring into ourselves even through this transition. It's imperative that we're able to maintain our sanity. If we are blessed to be in the position of safety, you know what I'm saying? Take care of yourself while you're there. It's safe to ask for help. People want to support me. I love that. I see grace and possibility in all of life's challenges. And I accept the gifts I've been given as a high service to the world. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. That is all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. If you're on YouTube, if you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with someone that you feel like needs to hear this, I would really appreciate it. If you want to check out my pay what you can workshops, they're on my website. And yeah, I hope that you have a beautiful, blessed day.